Ah, the Rana 16HT, a boat with the sleekness of a Scandinavian summer house and the raw power of, well, not much actually. But that's not the point. What we have here is a classic piece of maritime engineering, a small vessel for big adventures. However, what it lacks in power, it makes up for in sheer ability to break down at precisely the wrong moment. Now, this was the scene that greeted me when I tried to fire up the electrics. Wires everywhere, fuses blowing faster than a Hollywood action star's career, and a distinct smell of something burning. You see, the Rana 16HT, for all its charm, has electrics that could have been designed by an untrained squirrel on a caffeine binge. At this point, many people would have called in an expert, a professional who actually knows what they're doing. But where's the fun in that? No, I decided to tackle the electrics myself, armed with nothing more than a screwdriver, some new wiring, and let's be honest, a complete lack of understanding. So, what do you do when you've got a pile of cables and no clue where they go? That's right, you turn into Sherlock Holmes. Out comes the multimeter, and suddenly, I'm feeling like a detective. The live wires, the grounds, the neutrals. It's like solving a crime, except the only thing at stake is whether my boat catches fire or not. Once I'd identified which wire did what, mostly through trial, error, and a slight burning smell, I wired up a shiny new switch panel. Now, this wasn't just any panel. This was a panel with 13 glorious switches, each one controlling a different feature that would transform the Rana from a modest boat into, well, a slightly better boat. First things first, the fuse box. The old one was so corroded, it looked like it had been dragged through the bottom of the Baltic Sea. So, out with the old and in with a shiny new fuse box that I probably don't understand fully but looks very impressive. Then, the wiring. Now, wiring a boat is a bit like trying to untangle Christmas lights that have been stored in a tumble dryer for a decade. But with enough patience and a few questionable choices along the way, I managed to replace the entire network of spaghetti that Rana dared to call the electrical system. Next up, the LED lights. You see, while the Rana 16HT is a classic, it's also about as well lit as a haunted house. So, out with the old flickering bulb, and in with these little marvels of modern technology. LED lights, bright, efficient, and cool to the touch. Unlike me at this point, sweating like I'm in a sauna. And look at that! It's like the inside of the Starship Enterprise, only much, much smaller and without any of that pesky warp speed nonsense. But let's not stop there. Oh no, we're just getting started. Enter the LED floodlights. Because when you're out on the water at night and you've got, let's say, no idea where you're going, it helps to have the illuminating power of 1,000 suns. Well, all right, maybe not quite that much, but close enough. But we're not done yet. Oh no. What's a boat without proper navigation lights? These little gems let everyone know which way I'm going, which is quite useful if you want to avoid collisions. Green for starboard, red for port, which I'll admit took me longer than I care to say to remember. But now the Rana is legal, safe, and practically a lighthouse. Ah yes, the heart of the beast, the battery. But not just any battery. This is a LiFePO4 battery. Now, for those of you who don't speak fluent boating nerd, let me explain. This is lithium iron phosphate, which is a fancy way of saying it's powerful, reliable, and won't explode in your face. Well, hopefully. The old battery? Dead. As lifeless as a race car with no fuel. And it weighed about as much as a small horse. So, in comes this, the LiFePO4, a high-tech marvel that's lighter, safer, and can hold enough charge to power a small village, or more importantly, my electrics. Now placing it in is the easy bit. It's light, durable, and fits snugly, like it was meant to be there. But, and this is important, you don't just slap a LiFePO4 battery into place and call it a day. Oh no, you have to wire it up correctly, or things can go from, ooh, look at my new battery, to, help, I've set my boat on fire, pretty quickly. First, the positive and negative cables. Simple enough, right? Well, yes. if you're not distracted by the looming fear that one wrong move will lead to an electrical meltdown. And now for the ultimate flourish, the USB charger. It's 2024 for Pete's sake. Who wants to end up adrift without their phone handy? So here it is, the USB charger with more power than a Bugatti Veyron, ensuring you can live stream your entire Titanic reenactment without a worry in the world. So I wired up this handy little number to keep my gadgets charged. It might be a Rana, but it's now equipped for the 21st century. And there it is, power, glorious power. I've done it. I've taken this boat from a relic of Scandinavian nostalgia and turned it into a floating, LED-powered, phone-charging wonder. It's practically the James Bond of boats, minus the gadgets, the speed, and the general sense of danger. So, the Rana 16 HT is reborn. With a brand new electrical system, lights that could probably signal the International Space Station, and a USB charger so I can tweet about how great it all is. And with everything working perfectly, well, almost, it's time to take this beauty back out on the water. What could possibly go wrong?